January 31st, 2025. You know, these people, I get so tired of people like saying stuff, yelling stuff. You know, back in 18 and 19, they call these people idiot people. Look at all these idiot people helping out in this. They call them low IQ people. They basically called them retards, morons, stuff like that. That they'd actually fall for any of this. You know, their scenarios are so crazy and so out there. It takes somebody, a complete idiot, to fall for it. Complete idiot. I mean, I want you to think about this. There's HIPAA violations, okay? HIPAA violations, your doctors can never testify against you in court. They work for only you. They are to do no harm. They cannot talk about you to anyone without your consent. They go to jail 1 to 5 years, $250,000 fine, and you can sue them for $1.5 million in restitution. Your medical information is under the right of privacy. Then you got to think where they said they were going to have a dirty doctor sell my information. What part of dirty doctor you didn't understand? That doctor would be arrested. See, that's where the cops have even came up. We knew no doctor of Karen's could have even went in and talked to Will. We knew it was a fraud. We were wondering what they were up to. He would have had to arrest them. And see, that's where that agent was laughing at me on the phone. I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor selling your information. No doctor of mine could have went and talked to him. But I had that lady use my insurance for 15 years. Where right after we got married, my dad gave Dave a job at the factory, and I really think he married me just for that job, a way out of poverty. He was only making $80 a week working for John. And getting my dad's factory, he now makes $500 to $1,000 a week. Life changing. Okay? Now I want you to think about this. Then all of a sudden, we're getting all these bills that aren't mine. I'm filing disputes, and we wouldn't know this lady was using my insurance until we got the bills. Start disputing them. They're not mine. Well, Kay McMillan at Midwest Rubber confronted Dave in front of my brother. There's rumors of you cheating on Karen. That there's a heavy-set white brown woman showing up at the factory and you're talking to her. And there's no way some other lady would get her insurance. And the company's insurance unless you gave it to her. You either pay those copays or I'll sue you for insurance fraud. I'll have you arrested. My mom knew of her. I even had Altman Hospital call me one time. I want to talk about your stay. I had stayed in your hospital years. You see Dr. So-and-so. Never heard of him. I tell him about this lady. Well, you told me we sat and talked, don't you remember? I said, ma'am, I've never talked to you. I told you some other woman's using my insurance and she's running up all kinds of bills. Well, you said you had 2 little girls. It's like I have 3 sons. I told you, and she hung up on me. Happened all the time. Tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars worth of bills. We had really good insurance. I paid for about 80% of everything, but we'll still got $250, $750, $1,200, $3,000 one time in copays. Over 15 years, she went Harry-Carry. More than likely, Dave was already dating her. And he married me to get a job from my dad. And that's why he beat on me all those times. Because he was with her. Where I confronted him. He's like, Karen, I'm always at work. And they seen somebody else with that woman. I was a size 3. I looked like Linda Carter back then. And he was cheating on me with a fat woman. Supposed to be at work working all this overtime. More than likely, he wasn't even working the overtime. He's taking off with her. And they used me so he could get a good paying job to take care of her. Realize how dirty that is? Half my medical records is documented by the police now. Officer Mark, that some other woman was using my insurance. My mom knew of her. Every union rep in the union committee at Midwest River knew of her and us disputing bills for 15 years. Okay. Now, I want you to think, too, where these people said we would pay off a dirty doctor to list or insane. You can't pay off a dirty doctor. Dear God, you have to have a competency hearing. I take care, okay, I'm a DSP. I take care of people with special needs that are listed insane, mentally incompetent, physical handicaps. I take care of people like this. You have to have a competency hearing. By law, you have a right to your own attorney and your own doctor to dispute some other dirty doctor. Okay? You have rights. See, that's where these people are such morons. They think people don't have rights. You can't just pay off somebody dirty. Okay? Now, I want you to think about this. And then write on Google, insanity is not curable. You have to go in for a competency hearing in front of a judge. You have a right to an attorney, a right to your own doctor to dispute it. The judge weighs it out and finds you insane or incompetent. They have to explain it to you. You have rights. That you are now going to have a court-appointed guardian and a social worker. You're being placed on Social Security disability. State will make sure that you're taken care of. You'll have caretakers come in and make sure you get your meds and other things you need. Okay? And I have people that work under me that'll make sure you're taken care of. And that all your money is spent on you. If you're mistreated, I'll take care of it. Because there's laws and you have rights. You still have your rights. Okay? They have to explain this to you. I take care of people like this. Okay? So that never happened. Insanity is not curable. So if they thought they could have a dirty doctor write up something like that, it would be fraud, right? Medical malpractice. And they get arrested because insanity is not curable. Because where is it? I'm a notary. I have a fancy smancy little stamp, stands up in court. I can notarize wills, documents, loans. Can't do that if you're insane, because you can't be held responsible for your actions. Huh? But if you want to say the Social Security disability owes me about $500,000 in back pay, I'm poor, I'll take it. You want to act stupid, I'll act stupid back. I'd like my back pay. Get it? You can't just pay off somebody dirty. See, that's where the cops that worked my case have wondered where those doctors with the medication error, medical malpractice, if that occult didn't pay them off, that they were that dirty. Because like they said, there's no way those doctors didn't know they weren't killing her. With everything swelling up and shutting down, and it took another doctor to tell on them. Wonder if that occult paid them off before. See where they're saying you paid off a dirty doctor, write up something? You just put a nail in that doctor's coffin, they open their mouth. They can't even say it was a mistake then. It was done on purpose and they were paid off. And they did try to kill me. They're looking at life in federal. See, you guys don't even realize what you're saying. See, what those doctors did to me is documented medical malpractice and medication errors. You know, I've gave the testimony over and over again of how I had endometriosis. I had 6 to 10 surgeries. You know, one day I started screaming. Dave rushed me to the hospital. They did emergency appendectomy, got a 4-inch scar on my stomach. Said it didn't look bad, but the way she's screaming, I took it out. A couple months later, I'm screaming in the same spot. Go back. They said, have you ever been checked for cyst? I said, what's that? I had fluid-filled cysts growing inside me, exploding. Double me over. Was full of them. They had to go in my belly button, around my belly button several times, going in there because I was bleeding into my stomach. One time they said if I wouldn't have been in the hospital, I would have died. Yeah, they started burning treatments and medication caused kidney stones. I had to be knocked out and put stents in and out of my kidneys. The endometriosis would not go away, no matter what they did. I ended up having a lower hysterectomy. A couple months later, I'm screaming again. The endometriosis is all over my ovaries. They said one cyst was big as a golf ball. It explodes. You're dead. They cut me side to side, took my ovaries out. Within a month, my gallbladder quit working. I had to have it out. Then I had to have scar tissue taken out of my stomach because I had a knot form in my stomach. Okay? I finally get well. My muscles are quinging. I'm cut all different kinds of places. This is over like a 2.5-year span. All those surgeries. Then my muscles didn't have time to heal. One day, I start bleeding like I'm having a heavy period. I don't have anything to bleed from. Go into the emergency room, and one of the kidney stones had kinked the kidney tube. They had to cut my back 5 inches, take the damaged part out. That's when my muscles locked. Like a nurse said, you had so much trauma to your stomach and back. That's why your muscles seized. You had so much trauma, they clenched. I couldn't hardly breathe, move. I was in so much pain, it was off the chart. What did I need? Pain medicine, muscle relaxers, long, slow physical therapy. Well, stupid me went to some crackpots. Started me on medication. My feet started swelling. I said, it's the medication. No, you have underlying conditions. No, I didn't. Gave me more medication, started swelling more. When I first started, the only thing was wrong with me is I was in pain. Okay? Weighed about 105 pounds. Within 2 years, I'm like 275 pounds. My legs swelled so bad, my knees are popping out of place. I'm falling. Fluid-filled cyst was even forming beside my knee. I went to orthopedic doctors, and they would have to drain them every month. Turkey-based syringes of fluid. They gave me canes and braces because I was falling because my legs were so numb from the massive swelling. Documented by an MRI report. Okay. I had many heart attacks, seizures. This, my adrenal gland and my thyroid shut down. And they were telling me I had level 2 pituitary tumors. I have the document of it. They wanted to remove my pituitary gland. Before I let them cut into my brain, because they told me I could lose part of my memory, I went to all my family physicians. The doctor's like, whoa, we need to have a long talk. What those doctors are doing, they're known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, making them sick, and wanting to do unnecessary procedures. You're not the first one. You're not the only one they've done this to. You got the golden ticket insurance company who pays for almost everything, and they just been draining it like a checking account. Here I am, 275 pounds, a swollen mess, heart attacks, seizures. Can't even walk, and to find out it's fucking them. It's medication making you sick. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up. Where I was having the mini heart attacks, I have a birth defect in my heart called PAVR. The left side of my heart doesn't get enough blood. It should have been fixed as a baby. Eventually, I may have to have it fixed. So my heart goes into tachycardia. When they gave me the wrong meds, they couldn't process it and put me into heart attacks. They almost killed me. Okay? Well, like the doctor said, you get off the medication, you'll be fine. I went to Dr. Eli. He agreed. Got me on fentanyl patches. Those muscles are locked so tight. I got to get you out enough pain to move those muscles. As you move them, blood flow will get pushed into them. They'll relax, and then you can build new muscle tissue. It's the only thing wrong with you, besides my PAVR, the heart not getting enough blood on one side, basically. They said it's the only thing that's wrong with you is your muscles locked up. It's medication doing it. He agreed. First month I lost 30 pounds. Second month I'm pulling myself around stores and malls. I ended up in so much pain I'd end up in the hospital, even on fentanyl patches. Dr. Eli told him, get me out of pain. She's got to move. By the end of the third month, the seizures stopped, the heart attack stopped, the brain swelling was gone. I could drive a car. Pull myself around stores, malls, streets. I wore out the back of one set of boots. Little ankle boots. I had tie up ankle boots so that it would hold my feet tighter. Where I had the braces above that so that because my legs were so swollen. Okay. I went from a 24 women's in November 2002. By April, I'm a 16. That's why my arms are I got like extra skin. I'm almost well by April. Because the only thing was wrong with me was my muscles locked up. They caused all that. May 3rd, 2003, Brian Laney showed up at our house. There was a church baseball game that day, but Dave was home and we were placing carpet in the bedrooms. So the boys had to stay home and help us. And he showed up and told us about the church baseball game, that people were running late, and Phil was one of the lead cars, and he blew right through a stop sign into a semi, killing him and Tyler both. He seen me even waddle outside with just my canes like a penguin in May 3rd, 2003. I didn't even need my canes around the house. Trying to learn to walk again at 30 was humiliating. It took me 9 months. By July, I finally got well. November of 2003, my sister Linda is married to Strange's son Tim, that occult leader. And one day she was out and she caught him with another woman named Katie. So when he went to leave, she went to follow him. And she had been following him for a while. She didn't have enough courage to confront him, and none of us thought she had it in her to go out and support herself. So, since we didn't think she could go get a full-time job and support herself, and she wasn't willing to say anything, we just acted stupid. It was her choice. She comes up to me on a Wednesday night. I was following again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. I'm like, great. Thanks. I thought, boy, is she going to get me screamed at? Set that minister off. By Sunday, he took my kid and pushed him to suicide. And he made up that lie of faking you were sick. Got rid of me real quick because he thought I was following his son and his mistress. They would have killed Linda on the spot. Like September 18th, 24, 8:30 in the morning, up in Akron, one of my clients, she had passed away now. I was still going up and seeing her while she was alive, and there was an investigator up there. Said, boy, that agent better be getting his facts straight before he puts his name on anything. It was medication error made her sick before. Oh, it's documented medication errors and medical malpractice. Documented and proven. Documented and proven. Why did they wait 15 years to kill her? Well, Strange actually ordered it back in 2003. I went over and talked to him. Says when Strange thought she was following Tim and Katie, he ordered her to be killed in 2003. They were to try to have her killed. If it didn't work, they were to have her destroyed. Nobody was to say or do a thing long as Dave wanted to stay married. But soon as he said he wanted a divorce, they were to take care of it. This has been planned out for 15 years before they did it. My car is bugged by the police for the FBI case. They taped the investigator telling my old client's neighbor. September 18th, 24, 8:30 in the morning. Talking real loud. See, that's where the police that work my case, there's no way those doctors did not know they weren't killing her. With everything swelling up and everything shutting down. And it took another doctor to tell him. Wonder if that cult paid those doctors off before to do it to her. See, where these people say they're going to pay off a dirty doctor, that would put a nail in that person's coffin. Because the cops are already suspecting that that it wasn't just a mistake. It was deliberate and evil and a paid-off attempt to murder. It put a nail in that doctor's coffin. Not just saying, oh, we made a big mistake. My God, I'm glad she's okay. See what I mean? Then they were trying to kill me. Think about that. Because does the people you go to church with know every doctor you go to? No. Unless you're a big gossip. Would they remember who you seen 15 years ago? No. Unless it would be your regular doctor all the time. You probably wouldn't even remember. In 15 years. Then half my medical records are that lady's. See, that's where people have said some guy that's actually investigating this said, boy, was that church setting her up the whole time having that lady use her insurance. I know that now. Dave was probably trying to look for easy way outs for him and that heavyset girl. that he was cheating on me with. Where he totally denied it, that it wasn't him seen around her. Karen, I'm always with you besides when I'm at work. His big line. Wasn't staying at work. Supposed to be working a lot of overtime. Wasn't working it. You know, when you're 18, you're young and you're naive. Get in an abusive relationship and the guy controls you. And he's evil. He don't love you. You may love him. But he don't love you and he's just using you. And I was his way out of poverty. Now, that's where, do you realize how stupid these people would say, look, we paid off a dirty doctor, or even mention any of what those idiots did to me. It's like you arrested them for medical malpractice, right? Because my God, even in this scenario, that they would have somebody write up something like that, it's only somebody's personal opinion. It wasn't proven in court, and there's no court documents. No guardian, no social worker, no social security disability. And they just had somebody, think about that. If you could pay off a doctor to write something up like that about somebody and they didn't know, you can steal everything they had, anybody you hated, and there was no laws to actually protect somebody, you could go around destroying everyone you hated. There's no court order. There's no hearing. There's no competency hearing. There's no social worker. There's no guardian. There's no social security disability. There's nothing. I want you to start thinking with a logical mind how much they're bullshitting you people. Then you got to think that agent, like the police said, we all know none of Karen's doctors could have came in and talked to Will. We knew it was somebody just impersonating one. We were wondering what they were up to. Because of HIPAA violations. How many times on TV do you see the cops or feds go to even in a mental hospital and say, we want information on this person? Well, you know I can't talk to you because of HIPAA. You know better. Unless a person's dead, I can't acknowledge anything. They can't. And they can't testify against you. It's like attorney-client privileges. You can tell your attorney you committed all these crimes and they can never tell anybody. Do you know when you're in jail, they have to turn off all the cameras and the mics while you talk to your attorney? Because you have a right to an attorney. You also have a right to a fair trial, right to remain quiet. You have a right to privacy, of freedom of speech. These people are bullshitting people out the wazoo. Because that's where the whole thing of it is. You get someone to write up somebody's insane and the person's fine. The doctor will go to jail. Because it's fraud and it's a lie. Because it's not curable. I had to have an ultrasound on my heart because of the PAVR, the pulmonary anonymous vein return, because the left side don't get enough. And I'm waiting for this lady to get done ahead of me. She was up in her 70s, almost 80 or something like that. She looked really old. Was talking to her daughter, and she said, I'm glad I finally got my mom a good doctor. She said, I took my mom to this one doctor, said she was bipolar, put her on Zoloft. She was sitting there tripping. She's like, do you see the lights go across the sky? Did you hear those voices out of the register? And she's sitting there spaced out like she was on LSD kind of actions. Said my brother was sitting there, Mom, you're tripping. But don't you see those lights? Don't you hear those voices? Took her to another doctor, and the other doctor was like, yeah, she's not bipolar. We need to get her off those meds. Said we got her off the medication. She eventually went back to being fine. They were causing all that. And she said the only thing was wrong, she wasn't sleeping. If you don't need medication and they give it to you, it has side effects. Horrible ones. Like heart attacks, massive body swelling, seizures. And like that poor lady, they made her have hallucinations. You don't need certain medications. Your body don't need them. They're chemicals and they have side effects. If I would have sued those doctors, and Dave and I were talking about when I got strong enough to sit in a courtroom, we were going to sue them. They encouraged Dave and I to sue them for 2 years. 2 years. But Strange took Danny and he pushed him to suicide. And it is documented in Stark County through the Crisis Center, the Stark County Child and Adolescent Center, that where Strange took Danny, that he told him, he took him, wouldn't let him leave, starved him all day, screamed at him in the pulpit till he passed out, and screamed at him till he did what he was told, and that's why he tried to kill himself. For 2 years, he told a Stark County psychiatrist for the Child and Adolescent Center that too, and he couldn't remember half the day. He was treated for post-traumatic syndrome. I had to get, by the time that happened, our insurance had elapsed. I had to get a full-time job, pay for the medication, counseling 3 times a week. He became bulimic. That's why he has no teeth. He threw up all the time. At 6 foot, he went down to 118 pounds. They almost had to hospitalize him. I had to pay for babies, or my kind neighbors and the people I worked with watched my son for free. As long as I had food in the house, they watched him for free so I could make money to take care of him. Georgine Vovusa, one of the Stark County social workers, called Dave. Said, I want to know about that minister taking Danny and assaulting your wife. Because when I went, I was Danny acting crazy that Sunday. Well, and he took off and I couldn't find him. And when I met up with Joy Mendez, his one girlfriend's mom, Heather Mendez, her mom, Joy, said that Danny had been thinking about killing himself and that minister was trying to make him help destroy people and all kinds of crazy stuff. When I seen that minister at that church, I step in. And the church, I said, have you seen Danny? He pins me by my face to the back door. Confess you were never sick. Well, I almost fucking died. I'm like, I really was. I said I'd never do that. And he's like, you're a spoiled little brat nobody likes in this church. And you'll be lucky to see your kid again. And calls me Satan. And just the sight of me would hurt children. I'm not that ugly. And then pushes me out of the church. And I have to go get Dave. And oh my God, my mom's calling over there. You better be giving Danny back. They wouldn't give him back for like 8 hours. He pushed my kid to suicide. My kid tried to kill himself twice the next day. Shook for over a month. Had to be on medication for 2 years. Counseling. I wasn't allowed to leave him alone for 6 months because Linda was following her fucking husband. Her fucking husband. She wasn't going to confront him, but she followed him. And it almost cost me my son his life. And then those idiots tried to kill me later. Because she followed her fucking husband. They would have killed her on the spot. You do realize if they would have realized it was her. They would have just found her dead. But they thought it was me. They had to come up with a reason to get rid of me. So they called me a baby's maybe lie of a faker. But Danny told. And that's where they found it 2 years ago. We found the court records of that, or the county records. That minister, it's documented in Stark County. He pushed her son to suicide. Oh, I know it is. Stark County Child and Adolescent Center. told Georgine Bovuso, Linda, at the Stark County Child Adolescent Center, the Crisis Center, and a Stark County psychiatrist for the Child and Adolescent Center. Strange took him that day. Wouldn't let him leave. Screamed at him in the pulpit till he passed out. Screamed at him till he did what he was told. And that's why the next day he tried to kill himself twice. And for 2 years, he was on medication and counseling. For the first 6 months, he was going to counseling 3 times a week. 3 times a week. And he had to be on medication. I had to go out and get a full-time job. Georgine Bovuso called Dave, asked him what his participation of that minister assaulting your wife and pushing your son to suicide. He said, I wouldn't talk to you without an attorney. She said, we'll put it this way. That church or that minister tries one more thing with your son or your wife, the next 20 years I'll put him in jail myself. They backed away. They would have killed me in 03 if it wasn't for her threatening them. That's where the police that work my case think that minister killed Phil and Tyler. Because he was standing up for Joyce where she swam in a public pool and Phil wouldn't correct her. He got sat down from being a song leader, soloist, quartet, head usher. And he was defying that minister publicly to everyone. And in 2 months, he didn't stop at a stop sign. Why the hell didn't he stop at that stop sign? They mess with him. They mess with that vehicle. Because you got your grandbaby in the car. Why wouldn't you stop? They think they killed him. Like Josh said, I swear they kill people here. They do. People have weird deaths. They push them to suicide. Or they have weird accidents. This time, they did it in front of everyone. Now, I want you to think about this, where the cops always knew it was some guy impersonating a doctor. Why did that agent? And when that guy came in and told him that where Dave hired Pete on his own, it was a drug dealer. And they were drug beating, raping me. I was going to the doctor all summer long of 2018 for bruises I couldn't explain, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, and a severe personal infection. Never seen her talk to anybody. I take a drink out of a Diet Coke in the room, go dizzy and black, or wake up with injection marks. And a drug dealer, Dave hired a drug dealer to do this to me. Why didn't he arrest him? And that occult for trying to kill me for any reason. You ever see those parents that go in a courtroom and kill their child's killer? And they go to jail themselves. Why? Because they can't take the law into their own hands. They can't harm and kill anybody else themselves. They're not the law. My old house manager's husband went to jail for killing his sister's killer. 21 years. So why would that occult be allowed to harm me? Have some guy drug me up for fake confessions and Photoshop a shower scene of washing? In a drug scam? Why would they be allowed to hire men to drug beat and rape me for any reason? They're not. Hire a drug dealer to stalk me, Photoshop a scene like that of washing yourself in the shower. Sell me on porn sites. Sell my grandkids on kiddie porn sites. I've heard them laugh about it. Using the bathroom. My whole family using the bathroom. Their little drug scam of drug confessions and Photoshop of washing yourself in the shower in another room is sick and it's satanic and asinine. Why weren't they arrested the first day? Felony invasion of privacy. Felony stalking. cyber stalking, sextortion, racketeering of drug confessions, kidnapping, human trafficking, attempted murder. There's real charges of what they did. Why didn't that agent do his job instead of laughing at the victim? Do you know how many thousands were human trafficked here in Ohio? Do you know how many people they have died and how many people they didn't get back? And then laughing in my face, they were getting away with it under police surveillance with a court order. The drug cartel is really heavy in Portage County. If you look at the Portage County Sheriff's Facebook page, they're always running scams on people, impersonating Portage County sheriffs, Portage County judges, fake arrest warrants, all kinds of stuff. They run scams on everyone. Andrew Darabeck up there had 7 victims, getting naked pictures of people without their permission, and then trying to extort money or threaten to get them in trouble. He's in federal prison 12 years. So why weren't these people arrested? It's a cartel. It's documented. I was framed by the drug cartel, and it was a drug cartel in my home before. It's a big drug scam. And it's documented and verified by the police. It was a medication error that made me sick before, and another woman was using my insurance. I'm going to upload this.